Welcome to the Ultimate Football Manager Challenge. I'm rebuilding Sporting, but with a massive twist. Every single player must be Portuguese. That's right. If they don't hold a Portuguese passport, they're out. Gone, released, no mercy. And to crank up the difficulty, we make zero profit from any outgoings. No sneaky sales, no transfer boosts, just pure grit and Portuguese talent from the ground up. The goal? Total domination. We're chasing the League of Portugal title, both domestic cups, and yes, even the Champions League. Ambitious, crazy, impossible? We'll have to see. And to spice it up a bit more, there's no season cap. We're here till we win everything. So then, we are back. Now, you guys seem to love the Spanish-only Barcelona version of this, so we're going to do it again with Sporting, but this time with only Portuguese players, hence why they are in Portugal. So it's going to be a very different looking squad, and we're going to go through actually what players we lose, because we go on to lose quite a fair few players doing this challenge. Again, if you do enjoy the content, be sure to leave a like and subscribe as always. If you do enjoy me, you think, you know what, I want to see this guy live, we are actually live pretty much every day now. Every day now on twitch.tv/JoshDaily and also kick.com/JoshDaily for the ad-free viewing. Both links are going to be in the description below. But essentially, this challenge initially is already quite hard because Sporting could do with a bit of a rebuild anyway. You then factor in that, you know, we're going to remove so many players from the ranks, which I'm going to show you first, actually, because it does get pretty spicy quite quickly. Now, the players we lose include this list. So we lose Tang Logongo, we lose Debast, we obviously lose Jerry, we lose Matthias, we lose Santos, Diego, Biel, Rafael, Morton, obviously a real big player, a player that is linked with Manchester United in real life, so a big miss there to not have him in the team. Of course, he is Danish, therefore we can't definitely play him. You go down the list, you've got Diamande, obviously another really strong FM, almost legend status player. A real big player to lose in a video like this, that has to be said. There's also loads of players that I'm just reading out the real big ones. I mean, Morita is not a player you want to lose. He's a bit older, but for a first season at Sporting in a rebuild, this is a man that you probably would not consider getting rid of because he's actually really good. Of course, Fresneda, real star talent at right back. Not a player that you want to lose. And as I said, there are tons of players in between all of these, you know, some real top players at the end of the day. And Gyökeres as well, obviously, but he has gone in real life, so we wouldn't have had him. He goes to Arsenal. This would have been obviously quite easy if I would have said, right, I'll give myself the minimum transfer budget, or I'll give myself the medium range transfer budget for every player, because then I would have had, like, you know, probably getting on for 200, 250 mil. I could have just gone and signed every single great Portuguese player. We have got £9 million, and we're not spending a single penny in season number 1. As a club, they are in a lot of debt, that has to be said, so we are going to try and get them out of that debt along this journey as well, which usually happens because we don't spend that much money. Now, I will say, as an actual club, they're obviously massive. They've got great training, great youth recruitment, so I am nowhere near scared to the point where, put it this way, I expect us to get some good new gens come through, some good wonder kids that we actually produce ourselves. And rest assured, every single season I will be going into the dev center looking and promoting anyone that I fit deem, so don't worry, that is going to be getting done. Now, as a club, they have won a lot of trophies. 1 European Cup, 21 Portuguese Premier Leagues, 17 Portuguese Cups, 9 Portuguese Super Cups, 4 Portuguese League Cups, and 4 Portugal Championships. So this is going to be hopefully a bit of a mission to try and add a lot more trophies to that. Now, the aim of the video is to not end it until we have won every single trophy that you see on this screen. Now, it's not all got to be done in one season, but until we have won everything, I'm not going to be satisfied that we have successfully rebuilt Sporting. Now, if you're a bit of a Portuguese football fan, make sure you do go over to the streams, because we're doing a Mourinho challenge, where obviously we are managing Porto, so very weird to be going against ourselves, like in the Portuguese Super Cup. I'm so locked into that save, but we're now locked into Sporting, not into FC Porto. Now, the players we keep It's not all doom and gloom, okay? I'll be honest, we've got a great goalkeeper. The goalkeeper is sensational, 31 years of age, leading Premier League goalkeeper. Again, can probably get maybe 2 or 3 years out of him. Anything past that, you're probably not really going to see much of him. Now, across the back line, despite losing Diamande, we've still got 2 incredible centre-backs. Quaresma, ridiculously good centre-back, good potential, very young in the age of 23. So if we can keep him, and also Inacio, which is going to be a tough ask because there's chance we don't even get in, I don't think we're going to win the league in season number 1, so that's going to be a big sort of, attraction for him to maybe seek a club elsewhere. Now, he's already wanted by Liverpool, United and Atletico Madrid, so a new contract will have to come into play at some point. You go across the team here, obviously, I'm going to be honest, the right back again is very good, but he's 32. Similar to the goalkeeper, you got a couple of years in him, then he will be moving on. Santos at left back looks relatively good. He's got a bit of pace, but again, the age is an issue. 30 years of age. Pretty much every player we've got that is actually really good is getting on in their career. So I say that the centre backs are actually the opposite, but when it comes to the wing backs, the goalkeeper, we definitely have a bit of an older vibe. Now we've got Trincao, who obviously traditionally is a winger. For us, we'll be playing through the middle. He's only 25 and a leading Premier League player who is Portuguese, so we can use him. I'm excited we've got him to pair him with this man. Now this guy, 27, I thought he was 24 for some reason, still got years of football in the tank. He's going to be a key part of this team right until the very end. Essentially, as long as we can keep him, he 100% will be at this club. And lastly, it's a bit of a gamble. He's either hot or cold. Is going to be Rodrigo Ribeiro. Now, this guy's either electric, goal after goal after goal, or he simply doesn't cut the mustard. Alongside of that, you've got a few players on the bench. You've got Justo, Batista, Tabo. You've got some decent players, but this team obviously going in against the likes of, Porto, all of these sorts of big teams, we probably aren't going to be. We're actually predicted to finish 4th, and I've learnt how good Braga are in the game from the live stream, so I think 4th is actually quite fair, because we have released, how many players did we actually have to get rid of? So I won't include Jokeres because he's gone anyway. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I believe 20 players have gone on the free. So the squad's incredibly weak when it comes to the bench, but this is what makes a rebuild challenge a challenge. This is not about realism. Obviously, in real life, this would never happen. But this is an ultimate challenge where we lose all of our big players and we try and achieve, well, the pinnacle of football, the Champions League. So there will be transfers. There will be definitely new gens. We're using an Amarim tactic, which, by the way, at any part of this video, you want to grab this tactic and also the rebuild file and these perks on the screen, you can come check out the Patreon. There is still 30% off, so make sure you are taking full advantage of that. But let's go over into Season 1. Let's just see where we land. And we are getting right into the mix now in the Portuguese Super Cup, where we go on to actually win a trophy that we very much need to complete this challenge already in Season 1, 1-0 over Porto. That is right, in a squad that was very much expecting to maybe not win this trophy. In Season 1, we are going to pick up the Portuguese Super Cup. There is a potential that we have a bit of an upset here, because with this team on paper, Porto should beat us 8 times out of 10. And they do on this occasion. The Portuguese League Cup, to be fair though, it's only on penalties. So a 1-1 game, I don't hate that. You've got the 4 absolute powerhouses going head to head here. I don't hate it, I've definitely, with that Porto team, it's not a bad team on paper. That I will take. This I'm not as fond of, because we are going to lose to Felgaris. I think I'm going to butcher that name, but we do lose 2-1. So that is the downside to this. We are now seeing that we might be, winners of a cup, but this one's a bit embarrassing. The Champions League, I actually don't think we've done too bad in, considering the squad. We lose to Liverpool 6-4, but I'll say that's actually quite a competitive game. In terms of the actual groups, we will go and see what happened. So we actually finished second over Inter Milan, so we are able to beat them 2-1. We do lose 3 games as well, but we do obviously go through. We do fall in the first, real competitive stage, but to get out the groups is not a bad achievement with this squad at all. And as for the league, we do finish in second, so 2 places up on the prediction. And we don't have a single player apart from clean sheets, which actually is really cool to see. Probably the one position that we could go toe-to-toe with Porto and obviously Benfica and Braga in terms of goalkeeper quality. And also this man, Daniel Brasanza, coming in. This guy, 27 years of age, he has shown a very good average rating in the league. So, I mean, to be fair, this is actually quite an overachieving season. I know that might sound crazy considering the third round exit, but a second place finish, 2 places above the predicted. We've already won a cup, we've signed no players, and we lost 20 from the squad. So we are doing a really, really good job, and this tactic is doing a really, really good job. If we look at the players, for example, here, the whole squad is chipping in already. Now, they're not title winning numbers. You know, our top goal scorer, I believe, got 19 goals in Trincao. Goncalves, 13 and 8. 4 and 8 here for Santos. Justo, 7 and 5. You know, it's not exactly electric stat lines, but the players are putting in a shift. Now, over this sort of project, however many years this is going to take, I am going to try and think about what areas we strengthen first. Now, logically, you can just go to the homepage here. I do this a lot as a little tip, and we can tell we are defensively, we're actually the best on paper. Now, I would say that doesn't make sense because I look at the team on paper, so I'm going against my own sort of research here. I'd actually say our back line is probably in need of a bit of improvement, especially if you factor in the midfield players as well. So I am going to invest in the back line despite being the best of the best, which I don't think that, you know, I don't know how we've actually got that stat line. And we are also going to try and sign an attacker, so hopefully the money's there. It sort of is, to be fair. We've got £21 million. Now, the debts and loans have gone down significantly by about 40 million, so we are going to try and keep it within budget, but also sign a player or two, preferably 3. But with 21 million, what can that get you in today's market realistically? And you've also got to bear in mind, every single player here is Portuguese. Every single player here, therefore, I need. So I can't afford to let any of these go, which basically means I'm going to spend a lot on contracts. That's what I'm trying to say. Well, obviously a player in Quenda, which, you know, to be fair to him, does actually look quite good. We are going to cash in and get £43 million. So, do you know what? Although it's a Portuguese player I potentially could have used, it was more for the transfer budget. And we have got a variety of players and actually still spent way within our budget if you include the 40 odd million we raised. Now, the first player is going to be Leonardo Buta. Again, why I love these challenge ideas, because I would never sign this guy. And he looks really, really good. I mean, quite young, 24, which is also good for the rebuild. 5 goals and 7 assists in the league, coming in from VTSC. So, I mean, 1.4 million, 4k a week. I mean, the guy's got pace. He can put a challenge in. Decent crossing. 24, obviously Portuguese. That's a brilliant signing. We pick up Bruno Jordo, coming in from Radamac. Now, this guy, again, is he the best player in the world? Of course he's not. But for depth, I'm going to take it. And he chips in, you know, 11 games, probably as a substitute. Contributes a couple of goals. Like I said, it's nothing electric, it's nothing brilliant, but he is a player that is costing me £3 a week. He's there for backup. You know, we've got a small squad, so it's just about getting the bodies in at the moment. Fantastic player, very little money spent. Coming in from Norwich is going to be Renato Vega, a very, very, very versatile, but I'm going to play him in midfield to make that clear. Very good midfield player, tons of experience to actually gain in this league as well. Of course, been sort of passed about since being at Sporting back in the day, but he's now back where he belongs, back home, and this guy can hopefully, as he has, dropped a very good performance. 8 goal contributions, a 7 average rating, and do you know what? This guy is a really, really solid player, and for that price tag, I mean, you can't really go wrong. For £2 million, I mean, it's virtually nothing for a player like him. And up in the world for £5 million, we are going to pick up another goalkeeper, because Portuguese goalkeepers, goalkeeper, centre-back. What am I saying? Centre-back. Wow, that is a bit of a mind switch off. Centre-back. Portuguese centre-backs seem to be a bit of a hard breed to find, especially when you're spending within a bit of a low budget. Obviously, if you've got a limited budget, you can go in for some pretty world-class ones, but we don't. So we are going in for Diego Lete. He is coming in from Union Berlin. £5 million, great average rating, good amount of appearances. The downside, the guy is slow. He is slow. But heading, tackling, physical presence, dominance like that, he is a bit of an ox. And considering we are playing a back three, we can get away with having one of them a bit slower than the rest. So he will do, even if it is for backup. For a player that I'm sure you've probably signed in this FM, I mean, it's Otavio. I mean, this guy would be someone I'd pick up anyway on the free. An absolute joy to have. He thrives when it comes to the mental side of the game. Great technically, great physically as well. A good leading Premier League player. Potential is pretty much capped. He is 32, but he has turned into an absolute monster. And he contributes 15 goals in 25 games. So, do you know what? I'm not going to question it. He is on 94k a week, but for business again, fantastic. A player that's worth £16 million. We've spent nothing. And lastly, for £15 million, the most expensive transfer is going to be Samu. From Mallorca, of course, a player that has been linked with Premier League teams for absolute fun. The guy is just an absolute ox in midfield, a perfectionist at the age of 26. As I said, 15 million. Very good amount of goals compared to what you usually get from him. A good amount of assists and a very good average rating. So, do you know what? For a player that was brought in mainly to not even really contribute with goals, the 10 goals he contributed probably have helped us quite a fair bit, and we welcomed in 6 players for 23 million. You can't really go too wrong. All Portuguese, all fit the quota. I'm hoping we can improve. Sadly, the Portuguese Cup, we didn't win it last year. As you can see, we actually, well, yeah, I'm looking at the history of the club now. That's how much I'm worrying. We didn't win last year. We did actually get to the final, you know. We got through all these stages to get beat 1-0 by Benfica. Now, part of me's annoyed because getting to a final, you want to win it all the time. But also to get to finals at this stage of a rebuild with the players we've got and the restriction we've got, I'm not against it fully. This, though, isn't good because we get knocked out in the 3rd phase of the Portuguese League Cup. Now, let's not forget, okay, this is a trophy which this club has won 4 times in the history, so we need to sort of get on track with that. For the Champions League, we lose in the knockout playoff round, which tells me, of course, as for the league phase, we finish really low. Man City had an awful season. We finish in 19th, you know, with wins here against Lazio, Roma and Celtic. A draw against, I can't even say the name, but how are we drawing against them? And the losses are actually acceptable. All very, very good teams. But the Champions League just simply didn't go our way. I mean, we actually lose also to Benfica, which is another knife right in the back. As for the league, we have dropped down 2 places. Now, the one positive to this is we've got a chance of actually winning a European trophy. Chances are we could get quite far in the Europa League. Fingers crossed me saying that. But it is never nice to drop 2 places. And the only positive saving grace is that we're only 9 points off winning the league. You know, with 7 points off finishing in second again. The league is very close, so Porto, Benfica, on this occasion VTSC, aren't running away with the league, but we simply are, well, we're nowhere near, but it's to be expected. But looking at this league, the one thing that I've noticed is we're going to strengthen season by season, but we're going toe-to-toe with, obviously, you know, the other teams that are going to strengthen as well. Now, the difference between this season is we've actually got players in the stats. The goalkeeper isn't, but we've got Pedro Goncalves, joint top goal scorer. We've also got him in the assists. You've got Daniel in the player of the matches. So our players are getting in there, but we're just not winning, obviously, the league or getting really that near. Now, as an overall sort of concept, as an overall season, we have won nothing. We've won 0. Now, last season technically would be classed as better, obviously. Second in the league, a trophy won as well. But I am very much open to the fact that we might not win a major trophy, be in the league or European trophy, for 3 or 4 seasons. Now, we are about to be approaching our, obviously, 3rd season. Now, we are in that Europa League, and it is a big opportunity to actually win it. Now, it's not the Champions League. It won't stand for anything in terms of ticking that off for the video as the challenge. But for the sake of getting a trophy into Sporting's cabinet, that's what I'm going to focus on. And to do that, we are going to have a budget, hopefully not an updated budget of £2 million, but I imagine very little money. And once again, there are so many areas you could say to me, Josh, you need to go and sign in. And I think it is, you know, on paper, by the way, I don't think this is a bad team. Good goalkeeper, good backline, good midfield, good wing backs, but it's the age. The age is the killer. We're talking about people here, you know, the wing back's going to be getting on. Not Booter now, but the right back's going to be getting on. The goalkeeper's getting on, you know. Even the likes of Goncalves, he's now 28. If we're doing this rebuild for 10, 15 years, he's going to be gone pretty quickly. It's going to come like that. Time will just fly by like that. And we need to make sure we are keeping a close eye on planning for the future here. Season 3 is going to be limited, guys, okay? It's not going to be too fun because we had limited money and we did have about 19 million, but with contracts and mysterious funds going missing somewhere when I was sort of negotiating between the actual wages of the club and the transfer budget, I think they've pocketed some is what I'm saying. We had about 12 million and we maxed out on this guy 11.7 million, and I'm not going to hide it from you. When we do well, I celebrate. When we do bad, I'm open and honest. This was a flop. He's a player that I brought in because I looked at him, I was like, this guy's got pace, you know, he'll suit this front line, and he simply didn't. He simply did not get firing. So this window, I want to forget about it. I don't know what we're going to do. Well, we are going to be in the League Cup final, and there is going to be another 1-goal winner, and that is going to go in our favour once again, and it is going to be an injured Felamiso. That is a name to say that I butcher, but we'll take it. We also go on to win on penalties the Portuguese Cup, so despite having one of the worst windows I've ever seen, we already have 2 Portuguese trophies. And I do apologise about the pronunciation. I know I butchered it, but just to go over it again, we did win the Portuguese League Cup. Did we win anything else? No, but we won the Friendly Cup, which I don't know if I want to count or not, but we do win it. You know, which, you know, winners in third place playoff, actually, not the overall win. We've won a third place playoff. We're not going to count that. Europa League runners up is heartbreak. Second place in the league's actually quite good, but runners up on penalties as well, with 3 top goal scorers, the second most clean sheets, 3 top players in the assists. Szoboszlai at Chelsea feels criminal. Wow, who did we beat to get there? I mean, it's disappointing. 6-1 over Benfica, 2-1 over Vallecano, 4-1 over VTSC, knocking out a couple of Portuguese teams. That hurts that we've lost on penalties because we got all the way there and we fell at the last hurdle, and we've not got lucky in this competition. I mean, the players have been cooking, but I mean, as for the league, we're back up into second, so positives on the table this season. Back into second place, really, really good to see. Trincão's going to be in the stat lines as a goal scorer. Goncalves, Veiga in there for the assists. Silva in there for the clean sheets, and we have won 2 Portuguese trophies. Could have been 3 trophies, and I'm a little bit gutted about that. But do you know what? This is by far our best season. We've balanced European football with league football. We've won 2 Portuguese Cups and even won a third place playoff, the big one of them all. So very happy with that. And obviously that means money, right? It does. We are going to have £35 million, and the club has pretty much over-halved its debt. So we are clearing that naturally without really putting many resources directly into doing it. Because we're not really spending much, naturally the debt is going to be cleared. Now, we are the best at scoring, the second best at conceding, but still nowhere near where Benfica are in terms of overall performance. Now, when we actually look at our team on paper, this is going to be the situation. If we go and actually look at our 11, we've got Silva, Quaresma, Inacio, Latit, Veiga, we've got Brasança, Samu, Esquigal, Otavio. I'm butchering so many names, man. I honestly, this is why I need to come by the streams, because I've got a couple of Portuguese viewers and they are telling me everything to put right. And do you know what? I want to learn the pronunciation. So let me know in the comments if I do butcher them as well, because by the time we get into FM26, I want to know how to say a lot more names, and I know I do butcher them. So again, it does apologise. Does offend anyone? I do apologise. But that aside, we're mainly focusing on the stats here. 6 and 14, 6 and 15, 5 and 14, 15 goals from Inacio at centre-back. That is ridiculous. Another reason why you need to go and get the set pieces. 21 and 20 from Goncalves. Trincão, 26 and 9. Thomas even coming in with 11 and 2, which, you know, I did say was a flop, but that's surprising me. 6 and 1 coming in from this man, who, again, we shouldn't actually be playing, so he's now going to go right away. He's snuck in from somewhere. He will definitely be going. But overall, a really, really, really strong season. Very happy with it. A good transfer budget. And I think if we can just keep on this sort of trajectory, we can keep going up and up and up and up. This is going to be nothing but good for the club. Getting these under our belts might seem small, and in a general rebuild it might be, but when you've got this challenge in place, it's all about the Portuguese pride. Well, a player that I'm a little bit 50-50 on, because I probably would have kept him just because he's Portuguese, but he didn't want to stay. He's going to go to the Saudi League for £22 million. Now, when I say I'm torn on it, I would have kept him, as I just said, but for £22 million, I think is replaceable. We have spent £22 million on an entire window, not just this player, don't worry. For a bit of an option up front, I've gone with experience. I've gone with Andre Silva. He's still got it when it comes to the composure, the finishing, the heading. The pace is fallen off a little bit, but other than that, 18 goals is a very good return. Now, he has been about the block, this man. Obviously, Porto, again, sorry. AC Milan, Sevilla, Frankfurt, RB Leipzig, Dortmund. 4.7 million for a proven bagsman. I'll pay it because he has helped out a lot. 1.3 million, we've got an option, is what I'm going to call him. I mean, he's just a very handy player to have. A handy player off the bench in Kiko Felix. He can play deep, he can play attacking. He doesn't actually do anything in 11 games, which is not exactly the best look, but for a very small transfer fee, very small wage, very similar to the first player we signed in this whole project. Just an option to have. We need the options because the squad is still actually quite small of good quality players. This is not a bad backup. Now, this guy is potential. That's what I've signed him for, and he is going to be locked in for every single game. Martin Fernandez, coming in from PSG, or the second team, 800k, 10 goal contributions. I'm trusting a viewer on this one, because he told me that he's incredible in a live stream, so I'm taking a bit of advice, and I'm going to lock him in. Now, he has done very well, jokes aside. He does look like a really good player. The question is, will I ever see that leading Premier League player? Time's going to tell. Experience and youth are going to unite. Renato Sanchez. Now, this guy has literally played for everybody. He has played for PSG, El Sad, Lille, Bayern, Swansea, Benfica, really back in the day. He's a machine, man. Mentally, technically, physically. He is 31. He's on a fair bit of money per week, but he's just a great player. I mean, 7.32 rating, £9 million. I've got him to essentially hope win me a league. These experienced players, you know, your Silvers, your Sanchez, they're for the present, the other players are for the future, and I'm trying to win and grow, hence why I'm signing both sort of roles. And again, an option up front in Vitinha, purely back up because Silva is going to get the game time and Trincao will start over this guy, but for a player like Vitinha, 3 goals in 10 games is not a bad return. He was really good at Genoa, so when he come up for 6.5 million, big red flash come on, I've got to get him. You know, you've got to imagine when we're scouting players, obviously, we're only looking at Portuguese players, so it's very exciting when you see someone come up, even if it is a player that's been playing for Genoa. He's scored a few goals, and for me, I'm taking what I can get. So that completes a whole transfer window here for 22.5 million, meaning after the sale of this man, we've only spent 500k on 5 players. Well, the Portuguese Cup and the third highlight where we are playing Porto. Now, traditionally, we are quite good against them directly in finals, and apparently things might carry on that way as we are going to go 1-0 up right there inside of 42 minutes, and I'll be honest, apart from that goal in the first half, it was boring. The second half, it got pretty heated quite quickly. 6 minutes into half-time, or past half-time, Vega is going to make it 2-0, and again, it appears it might just be another final Porto let go. And despite a very good set-piece goal, kind of, it's still not enough. Do go on to win that 2-1 over FC Porto. Now, that is going to make it 2 years back-to-back, and both years we've beaten both of the big teams. We'll take that. The Portuguese League Cup, we are going to win 2-0 over Porto, so that is also going to be 2 years back-to-back against the Giants. Portuguese Super Cup, we still, I say still to be fair, it is still, we've won it once in the first season. For the past 3 years, Benfica have just been absolutely... they've been insane. Big improvements in the Champions League, through to the semi-finals, and I mean, to be honest with you, this isn't just a little step, this is a massive, massive step, you know, a real latter stage of the competition. We get past the quarters 2-0 over Chelsea, massive result. Round of 16, 4-1 over Inter Milan, that's a big, big result. The league phase we still don't get out of, meaning we had to get past Atletico Madrid, so... it's bad to get, you know, not past the league phase, but also we have handled 3 knockout games over 2 legs. We might finally be getting a little bit of backbone. And as for the league, we drop down into 3rd. Now, we still do get Champions League football. We haven't won the league yet, by the way, so that has to be done for part of the video. The trophies we now need to win are the Premier League and the Champions League. We win them, the challenge is done. But I still feel we are quite a bit away from actually making that happen. So, yeah, we are going to need some more transfer windows. I mean, Andre Silva's working, 18 goals. We like to see that. Silva, who might be retiring now potentially. He's not. He is 35, maximum 1 season left in him. Yeah. I mean, this is going to, I've got a bad feeling with the age of some of these players that we're going to get to a point where we're this close to completing it, and then they're all going to retire, and then we are back to square one. But if that does happen, it's my fault at the end of the day. Now, money-wise, we are going to have a big budget of 59 million. The club is edging its way to debt-free freedom, and as for the players that was locked in, Fernandes, 4 and 14. Now, we are going to start paying attention more to just the players locked in, because they're the real star-studded players of this entire project. But let's not discredit the goal scorers, right? I mean, we've got here 26 and 5, 20 and 14, 11 and 7, 10 and 11. That is 4 players scoring 10 plus goals. Assists, we've got 4 players with 11 plus. So I mean, it is a really, really good team performance. But now we're in that era of we need to get young players through the door while not completely tanking our results, and that traditionally on my channels has never gone too well. We're going to have a £45 million window, and signing one is going to be Ricardo Quixada. Now, this guy's going to come in from Bayern, as I said, for close to 30 million, but I don't care. 20 goals, 2 assists is all I need to know. The lack of Portuguese new gens coming through was concerning me, but we've now been hit with a nice wave of them. We also have promoted a couple of players that I will talk through once they get locked into the team. This guy lacks the acceleration, but we're working with him personally on that. He has got the pace, the composure, the finishing of an elite level striker. He's a leading player. He can still improve. He's 19. This guy can become, I don't want to say the words Ronaldo, because that is a big, big comparison, but do you know what? Let's do what the media do best. I'll compare him to Ronaldo. Why not? Let's do what the media do. This guy is the new Ronaldo. And maybe this might be the new Diogo Costa, because we are going to pick up a new gen goalkeeper that was locked in. As you can see, 20 clean sheets. Now, he only cost me 7 mil because we poached him off a smaller Portuguese team. So, an absolute steal, only on 17k a week. He already looks very, very strong. The downside, he's got a few cons in the locker. The big one, injury proneness, but he did stay fit for the entire season. So, I'm going to keep a close eye on him. But in terms of Portuguese goalkeepers, he wasn't just the best by a little. He was the best by a lot. For £10 million, definitely not a new gen, but he is going to be a bit of a hybrid role. DM and centre-back, essentially. Pretty well-rounded. Mentally, by far, his best side of the game. Technically a centre-back, but he could also play DM. He's got the passing to do it, and I mean, he cost me 10 million, so for that sort of price tag, I'm not going to complain. He's not on, like a mental wage, considering that we have got that money to spend now, with all the players that left from the start of the save. So I think it's a very strong window, I mean, 45 million is, we spent 22 last window, 11, it's by far our most expensive window, getting on for double of the rest of them. But we are progressing. And to progress, you need to put money back into it. League, we're in second. I mean, we're still 7 points behind, so second feels nice, but it's still 7 points. And I mean, do we lose twice against Porto? Once against Porto, and we draw. So yeah, they're having a great time. They got 4 points against us, so even with them 4 points, so we still wouldn't have won. So it's not as hard to take. What I will say is, this man in goal, joint top clean sheets in season 1. Renato Vega and Otavio both coming in here with 12 assists. Very strong. Ricardo up front, 20 goals, 3 behind. Gonçalo Ramos at Porto, what a signing. Pedro Goncalves, third top goal scorer. Players are performing really well. Vega's doing also really well. This guy's coming on leaps and bounds. All the up arrows in the world, but we still can't win it. Wow. It's definitely becoming a challenge. Set back by a leg when it comes to the Champions League. Liverpool do beat us 2-1 on the day. When it comes to the round of 16, we do beat AZ, so a bit of an easier fixture. And I'm hoping I'm not going to see my team on this. I am not, which means the league phase, that's more like it. 6 wins against Montpellier, Celtic, Slavia Prague, LASK, PSG and Roma. A point against Napoli and the 1 loss against Bayern, which I'll happily accept. So a big improvement in the league phase. We didn't get as far, but I would actually rather see start to do really well in the league phase, beating teams like PSG. Roma's a tricky one, a point against Napoli. At least we are really making a sort of statement to say, look, we can beat you guys, and we need to start doing that because we are racking up the season count. Now, the rest of the competitions, they went pretty well. When I say pretty well, we won them all. The Portuguese Cup, we are going to win 2-1 over Benfica. That is now going to be a staggering 3 times back-to-back. The Portuguese League Cup, we beat Porto 1-0, 3 times back-to-back. The Portuguese Super Cup, we win on penalties over Benfica, 2 times inside of 5 years. So as for the cups, we are absolutely running them. We're running them for absolute fun. But going into that next season, firstly, let's go and actually see what the dynamics are saying. So it's going really well. They're having a great time, to be honest with you. The dynamics are amazing. The money situation, a little less this season in £21 million, unless it's not been updated. A bit more's gone back into the net debt, so I'd like to, in a dream world, bring that back down to as low as possible before I pass this save file on to you. And as for the team again, the people that were locked in, they all cooked. And they didn't just cook. The striker was a machine. The right back, 5 and 18. Now, let me know what you think when I'm going to start doing this in videos, because I've got a couple of comments saying, Josh, you need to start locking in players more, especially like the star signings. And I will take your advice on board. So whenever we go through the stats, I'm going to pay a lot more attention to the players we lock in, because they're like the faces of the rebuild almost. So let's get into the next season after a treble winning Portuguese season and just try and push for that league title. I know it's 7 points, but if we can fix a few games, we're there. We did have more money. We had about £42 million. Now, I will say our first signing is going to be Kelton Montero, coming in from Braga as a centre-back. This guy might be one of the most technically gifted players in terms of first touch at centre-back I have seen. 15 for a centre-back is nuts. Now, he could improve a lot. He's currently a leading player already, and he cost me 32 million. Great average rating. He was locked in for the entire season. This guy is going to become easily one of the best centre-backs in the league. Can he win me a Champions League? Not yet, I don't feel, but the positive to this guy, he can also play right back, so not just a pretty face. Very handy. I had to go to the board for this one because we did sort of overspend a little bit for the first time in any season. Thomas Santos is going to come in from Southampton. Now, the board agreed the transfer fee, so do not shoot me. He comes in for 46 million, 14 goal contributions, but I've now got a left back that I'm confident can win me a Champions League, can easily win me the league at some point. Great acceleration, great agility, good crossing, good dribbling, good bravery, good anticipation, good marking, good tackling, good technique, good pace, good stamina, good vision, good positioning. And this is at 21. This is at 21. He is close to his full potential, but this guy could literally stay literally like this, and he would still be our best left back. So we have spent quite big this window. There's no secret in that. But when you factor in these small windows, I think we've got every right to spend big. And the League Cup final against Estrella, and I'm going to be honest with you, this was going to be an easy final. You know, we're used to playing Porto in this final, and we beat them, so beating this team should be a walk in the park. And it took us 80 minutes to get on the clock there and actually score a goal. But luckily, despite having a bit of a scrappy game, we were able to capitalise again with Andre Silva in a simple 2-0 win. Things didn't go as smoothly in the Portuguese Super Cup. No, they didn't. FC Porto beat us 1-0 in added time. Porto beat us 1-0 in normal time in the Portuguese Cup. So from winning all 3 Portuguese Cups, bar the Premier League last season, we have gone down to 1. So what have we done for the rest of the season? Well, we have also gone back in the Champions League, round of 16. Now, we do play Man City, who have got Pep's still there, you know, of course he is. They've got some pretty good new gens coming through already, and a good new 2 good signings there at centre-back, and a great goalkeeper. They've raided Benfica, and all the Portuguese teams by the looks of it. They are a good team to play, but it is very disappointing to see us go out that early on. And we are also not getting through the league phase, so we had to get past FC Nantes, and even that wasn't pretty, as Barcelona win 13-1. 13-1. That is embarrassing for that team. But the first competitive test, we get axed. The league, we're in second again, but significantly worse. I mean, that gap, 13 points now compared to 7. Not far at all, actually, off a double point gain gap from them this season. Now, there are positives from this season. The one positive I'm going to talk about is Ricardo. Now, this guy is actually, I mean, I didn't doubt him. 27 million, I knew what we were going to get with him. But he's actually improved this season. So we are going to have a couple of years of building these new gens up and up and up and up and up and up and up until they hit their peak. When we're in that window, very similar to an F1 car, when you get it in the right window, it's at its best. That's what we need to do in this rebuild. And our version of a F1 car, crazy comparison, is to build up these wonder kids to get them in their prime years. When we get in them prime years, we could have an era of dominance. So that's what we're pretty much waiting out for. I mean, currently we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players locked in. We've got a striker, 33 and 3. We've got Santos locked in at left back, who again, great season. Right back locked in, great season. Centre back, goalkeeper, really, really strong performances. I mean, nothing really too much to hate at all. Good stat lines coming out of the goal scorers and the assisters as well. I think this is a patience project. I really, really do. I mean, we have won trophies, but we are getting into, season 6, season 7 with no league title, and that's because I have taken more of a youthful approach down the last couple of years. I thought, it'll make it a little bit more interesting. So, in terms of money, we are going to have a budget of £93 million, with still a little bit of net debt to pay off, but a big budget to spend. And I think I'm going to keep it up with the pattern I'm going down. I'm going to keep trying to sign under at least 23s, 24s, because let's win this whole thing with young players. Let's do it. Well, for 44 million, we are going to pick up someone who's just a little bit out that age bracket, because I have not seen a player like this in a long time. And can someone tell me why I've never used this guy before? I mean, he looks ridiculous. Dennis is going to come in from Liverpool for 44 million. Now, I know I think I said maybe 23 or 24. He is 1 year older than that. He might have even been 24 when I signed him, and it's had his birthday. But this guy is so complete. How can you not sign him? I mean, the guy's a dream. And for a Portuguese challenge, come on, man. You've got to sign him. I mean, what a player. What a season. 7.54. Yeah. By far our best midfield player. 25 million, we do pick up a 22-year-old midfield player in Paulo Sousa. Coming in from VTSC, again, ridiculous season. 25 goal contributions in 34 games. Already somewhat pre-built. By the way, 19 decision making, 14 passing, great technique. He can improve slightly even on this. This team, man, what a midfield. And for the matter of 70 million, we've welcomed in, well, I'm going to say it, a powerhouse midfield. As we also factor in the addition of Dutel. He's not a paid signing. He's one of our own, actually. And he is going to be 21 years of age. And he did step in. He played 7 games, so not exactly blockbuster. But I thought I'd show you him, because I know you guys like your new gens and your players that come through. He's one of ours. And this guy, also one of ours, a centre-back. Again, this year, the year of 2030, we've really promoted a batch of players. Now, these are more for your purpose when this video inevitably ends. You've got these to use, so I'm going to show you what you've got, because a lot of you guys go and get them Patreon save files. I want to make sure you're using what you've got at the club, because you've got some fantastic players. So you also have Sile coming in. I mean, another one of our players who could improve a lot and might be one of the better new gens in this entire team now. He actually plays 17 games, sorry, and scores 5 goals. He got a bit of action last season. This guy has been really giving it his all to get a shot in the first team. So I played him. Make sure you play him. What an exciting team we have. Time for the Champions League semi-final. Now, we are playing PSG, current holders of this title. A tough game, but this man up front might be one of the best signings I have made ever. Such a good finisher of the ball, and we looked very comfortable. Now, PSG have got their fair share of new gens in the team as well, but we were so on it literally from minute 1, and we are striking against Donnarumma as well. Not a bad goalkeeper. We're striking goals like that in. Now, PSG have strengthened. They've got Rodrigo in the team, and they find themselves 2-0 down in 35 minutes until this happened. A great finish to make it 2-1, and the game is very much back on. Now, this was only the first leg. We were playing away from home, so to even get a draw here would be a real big result, but thanks to the drive of Quaresma down the right and the great finish there from Sousa, we take the lead by a 2-goal cushion again. We are going to be up by 3 goals, and we go into the second leg with a 3-goal cushion after this goal, A 4-1 win away against PSG, and that is why you signed that man. What a finish. And I was never going to let that bottle at all. We get a draw against PSG at our home game, meaning we're through to the Champions League final. That game was actually quite boring. We go to extra time, there's one goal, but I do not care how the game was. I don't care if the game was boring, because we win it 1-0. But that is right, we are Champions League winners over Man City in the year of 2030. So we have won that before the league, unless we've won the league as well, which we have won the league by 4 points over Porto, and they've strengthened again with Wahi up front, but we have now got some serious players that can go toe-to-toe with their team. And I mean, what a season for a lot of these players, you know. A very, very good performance from pretty much everybody in the team. We'll see if we want anything else to sweeten it even more. We have. We've won the Portuguese League Cup 3-0 over Porto. That is now going to be 5 years back-to-back. The Super Cup, we also beat Porto 2-1. That is now 3 times in this entire rebuild. The Portuguese Cup wasn't as good. We do lose against Benfica in the 6th round, but we've won that 3 times. And I mean, it happens all the time in Football Manager. You have these seasons of build-up. I literally said before this season, we need time to build. Then it all happens at once, and it has happened. This has been a very, very, very good season, and I mean, that is the challenge complete. So we'll look at what we've left you to work with. You've got a budget of £27 million. You've got very minuscule debt compared to what we started with of over 220 million. Your team... Don't get me started on your team. You have got some of the better younger players. Look at this block of younger players you've got to use. Unbelievable squad for you to go and have fun with. A great tactic, a bit of an older tactic, but, you know, I thought, why not run it back with Amorim? And I mean, yeah, a few new gen faces in there, a very good return from the front line, man. When you've got 27 and 21, 32 and 3, 15 and 23, but on the bench you've got Sile, 14 and 1, 17 and 7, Barrasso there, 8 and 10, 4 and 10 for Fernandes. You have been left with a young, hungry team, and your challenge is to win the Premier League, the Champions League, the League Cup, the Super Cup, and do what I didn't, win the Portuguese Cup. The winner, first person to do it, send me a screenshot on Patreon. We'll get £20 PayPal sent to them. So make sure you are sending your screenshots in. Again, it is first come, first serve. So get involved, get stuck into the saves. And yeah, you have to use the tactic as well. None of this 4-2-3-1 meta. That is going to be, for me, a very fun rebuild. I love the nation lock-ins. They're so much fun. I think there's also been a board takeover to clarify, but Champions League in that trophy cabinet, another Premier League. That is going to be Lisbon rebuilt. I mean, incredible. I'll catch you in the next one. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe.